Hi there, I'm Leah, and welcome to the House of Hormones podcast. So, welcome to the House of Hormones, Caitlin Murray. I am so excited to have you here this week. I have been watching you at Big Time Adulting for years on Instagram, and I feel like you actually maybe got me through the years of my younger children. So, a huge welcome. For those of our audience at the House of Hormones podcast who don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. And thank you for all those kind words. I am very flattered. I guess I'm an Instagram lady. Is that how I would say what I am? I'm on Instagram, and that's how I sort of got this visibility that I have now at this point, and I've grown an audience there. I started out just really wanting to write a book. I have a son, my oldest child. He was diagnosed with leukemia when he was 3 years old. And in that process, I had begun writing to family and friends about what he was going through and what I was going through as mom. And it was just like such a therapeutic thing for me to do, like just putting my feelings down, putting our experiences down on paper, just using like kind of my creative juices to have fun with that writing a little bit, using some humor and life lessons all mixed in. And I just was really enjoying it so much. And enjoying the writing, of course, not the sickness and the cancer part. That was all awful. He's doing great now, thank
Yeah,
goodness. He's
yeah.
a healthy 11-year-old.
Not to interrupt you, but I seen a
That's okay.
video that you posted last week of him talking and thanking everybody. And honestly, I was in tears.
Oh,
What a gorgeous, well-spoken, smart young man. Isn't he just gorgeous?
thank you. Yeah, he's a really, really good kid, and he is so smart. We call him, his name is Callum, and we call him Cal Lexa because he's the one who we all ask, like, oh, what happened with, I don't know, whatever. He's got a wealth of knowledge up there. But anyway, yeah, so he's doing great, thank God. And so I had been loving the writing, and I just endeavored to write a book, and I figured that having an Instagram platform, I was sort of told that that's the best way to go about getting a book deal. So that's what I did.
What was the first video that you kind of noticed, hang on, people love this?
It's funny. I started the page when I was pregnant with my third child, and I had a toddler in the mix, and then my oldest son, who was only 5 at the time, all, in cancer treatment. So I was, properly losing my damn mind. I started the page while I was pregnant, and then when the baby was born in May, of 2019, I started writing a lot about this. It was before Reels, and it was more just like static posts with little microblogs underneath. And I started writing about like these really real experiences I was having of having a newborn, and what is going on all of the time with the feeding, and like why some nights he will sleep and won't, and what is the like right combination of everything. And like, this is my third time around, and I thought I knew what I was doing, but every baby is different, and oh my God, I'm losing my mind. And I think it was just that kind of raw honesty with a side of humor in there, where those posts were really blowing up, and people were really relating to it in a way that I was showing pictures of myself, like really postpartum, looking like hot garbage, and writing about how difficult it all was. And I
Did
just think it
you
was kind of new on
Did
it.
you, because obviously I'm such a fan. Like I said, I watched you, and my children are now 7 and, well, she's nearly 8, but 8 and 5. So I've been watching you for the last 5 years. And did you gradually become more able to be real? Like, did you find yourself at the start trying to set up videos and now you literally don't care? Or did you literally not care from the start?
Um, yeah, I think that there was always a portion of me that didn't care because of what I had been through, like with Callum and my oldest. And I was like, you know what, at that point, I was not a brand new mom. I'd had so many of the same feelings that I had about motherhood all the way through from day one of motherhood. But yeah, I think I was just like, you know what, I've been through it. And I know I'm a good mom. And I don't give a rat's ass if somebody out there is like, there are trolls like you and why didn't you have kids anyway? And that whole shit.
What is like the biggest thing that you get that people like send you and say?
Like the troll type
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I
So I
don't
can't
even
even think, like
know.
for most people I can think of what that would be, but for you, I'm thinking, well, what can they be saying? Because you're having it all out there. You're being real.
I mean, I think there are like those types of comments like uh, I feel bad for your children. Like why would you have children if you don't like having kids or that kind of thing. And it's probably honestly from people who don't fucking have kids, like that just don't get it. I really do not care. I mean, have been some hot button topics that people will come out of the woodworks a lot on. Like, I think I did a thing back on when I was had my third, and I had finally did a sleep training program with him and got him sleeping through the night, and what an absolute sanity saver that was for me. And everything I like usually say on Instagram is just from my personal perspective. I'm not like touting this is the best new thing to do ever. I'm not an advice column. I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is what's happening over here with me today. And so people will be like, that's like abusive to let your children cry or do any of these things. And it's like, go kick rocks. I really don't care what you think. By the way, I have great kids. So,
Well, and the thing is, every child is different, every house is different, like everything's different. So I don't even understand how people can come from a place of judgment because we know every child is different. Surely that's something we all agree on, right? Because sometimes, with the House of Hormones, and we talk a lot about hormonal issues, and sometimes we see like a big uptake in some posts, or we get a lot of messages, and quite often it's quite sad because even though, so for you might be doing a post about something you've gone through, but then because that blows up so much, do you ever realize, wow, so many women are affected by this and they think it's just them? But obviously, if you see it blow up, that means it's not just you, it's everyone, right? There's something quite sad about that there's so many women out there thinking they're on their own or struggling with parenting.
yeah, I never actually look at it as sad. I look at it as really validating and like that it's, it is in a way, it is sad that people have it like that because I'll get that comment a lot, like you say what I'm thinking, but I'm too afraid to say type thing. And in my mind, I'm like, God, like, how do you not say it? Like if you're thinking it, because I pretty much say everything I'm thinking. I'm a chronic oversharer over here. But yeah, it's just like, I think at the beginning that stuff is hard. It is a little bit harder to make yourself really vulnerable, put out like the way that you're feeling about something in motherhood. People can be very judgmental in that space. Um, you've got to definitely have what we were sort of just talking about, a little bit of that. Like I let it roll off your shoulders, so thick skin to go out and do it, or confidence. Like I think I did know deep down inside that pretty much people were feeling the same way.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, I've always been kind of well, I would classify myself as similar, and that's why I resonated so much with you because I remember having children and thinking, wait, what? This is madness.
Yeah.
And literally sitting thinking, this is it. Like it doesn't end. There's no end. If you're on a roller
Yeah.
coaster, it's going to end soon.
Yeah.
There's no
There's
end.
yeah, it's funny. There's like a weird, it's almost like a grief feeling in a way, the finality of becoming a mother, parent. It's never going to end. It's never going to go away. That responsibility, the weight of the emotion of all of it is always going to be there for you every day. And it is, I don't mean this in such a morbid way, and I wouldn't, compare it to such a dark thing literally, but it is kind of similar to like the death of some of a different part of your life. You know, it's like that part of life is gone now. You can never go back to that sort of autonomous person that you once were, and the freedom of doing things without thinking about at least one other person constantly.
Yeah. What advice would you give to any mothers that are listening to this and are in that space? I mean, I know that space doesn't end, but it does get a lot easier. So for any new mothers out there, by the way, we're not trying to scare you, but what advice would you give to anyone listening?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. It's like you only understand it when you understand it, when you have been through the experience of becoming a parent and becoming a mom, and you know, the pressure and the weight of all of that comes along with that. But yeah, in my experience, literally has gotten better every single day since day one. It's like just a little bit easier, and that's part of that is like, you know, you use a new muscle over and over again, you get stronger. There's part of that to it too, but in a less like, I don't know, dark way or whatever, it's so much more fun. I have so much more fun now with my kids and as a mom than I did when they were babies and toddlers.
I think different people enjoy different ages as well, right? So,
Yeah.
but between the ages of 9 months and 4 years, no thanks. Just no thanks. After four
Yeah.
years old, brilliant. I'll take them.
Yeah,
And
and
before
sometimes
that,
it's like that cumulative effect too. It's like you're not only dealing with that 2 and 3 and 4 year old, but you also have a newborn and you're not sleeping, right? So there's that whole other added aspect of multiples, and it's hard. It's just really hard. I think in my mind at the time, I knew it was hard. I did not know how hard it was going to be before I had kids. Now I have 3 of them. I knew exactly how hard it was after the first one. I was shocked by it, but I also kind of knew deep down that it was like this means to an end, that there was something greater coming from it and that it would become more rewarding as
yeah,
time went on. And it
yeah.
has in every way.
I love, love, love your posts when you talk about your partner or when you just talk about sharing the mental load and posts like this, because, you know, I just don't think men get it. And no matter how many times you can tell them, they still don't get it, right?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, especially at the beginning, they really do not get it because there's so much going on with you and your body, that is new and crazy. And then, like, the mother's mental load really begins in pregnancy, right? It begins from the moment you find out you're having a baby because it's all about what's going on in your body and your doctor's appointments and your maternity clothes and the things that you need. And then that also becomes an extension of what the baby needs with your breast pump. And then you're deciding the bottles, of course, if you're doing the breast pump and what connects to that. And, you know, and it's like dads are kind of very quickly eliminated from, and then like the first doctor's appointments, it's like your doctor appointment with the baby, you're discussing feeding if you're a breastfeeding mom and all of that. And then you see how quickly the child's stuff just all becomes absorbed by the mother, and it's really hard to break that like pattern. um and you just kind of continue on doing all the things, and a lot of it is biological and natural, but I think that that's something that you're not prepared for or even encouraged to like know, by the way, this is why this kind of happens. Like this is all going to start when you become pregnant, and then it's going to sort of spiral from there. So be prepared at some point to like cut the cord, let your husband step in or your partner step in and pick up some of the slack in these areas and divvy up the tasks a little bit, because it becomes so overwhelming.
Well, and I think the depressing thing about that is you're almost expected to like it, right?
Yeah.
So
And
you're
it's
expected to love this. You've got this baby, and you're expected to love all these jobs, whether it's, even things like shopping for new baby clothes, or you're expect, oh, you'll love that. Well,
Yeah.
it's no, I don't love having to remember that we now need this size socks or this size, right?
Yeah.
Or we need to do, and then don't get me started about when they go to school and the emails from school and that don't, like, let's not even go there. But the thing that I've always find, they don't naturally understand, but that's not to say that if you ask men or your partner or, you know, somebody in your life, they will help. They just kind of need to be guided to what help you need, like almost like a little list of I need this. And so
Uh-huh.
it's almost like women need to find their voice to be able to come out and say, I'm not okay with doing all of this. Like, this
Mm-hmm.
isn't, and we've always been taught that we have to do it all. And maybe you're not good enough or you're not a good enough mother if you can't handle all of this, right? Has your body ever done something weird or out of the norm? You've already went to the doctor, you've had your blood test, but you're still thinking, is this normal? Am I the only one that's dealing with this? Sometimes you just need to hear it from someone who actually gets it. And that's literally why we've created the House of Hormones Forum. Think your girls' group chat, but with an upgrade. The House of Hormones Forum is a safe space with zero judgment and a strong community of women who really get what you're going through because they're going through it too. We're talking PMS, mood swings, cycle changes, cravings, all of it. And the best part is you've got real support with the House of Hormones Forum. So whether you just want to vent or you've come to ask questions, come and join us. It's given science meets sisterhood. So come and join the conversation at the House of Hormones Forum. We've saved you a seat. www.thehouseofhormones.com and just click forum.
Yeah, and then in with that, in that thing, like with just writing a list, like at the end of the day, like you don't want to have to also write a list. Like you're like,
Yeah.
I want you to fucking know what to do. You know, I want you to be
Yeah.
part of this and like, and you know, have some intuition on what comes next and why I'm twirling around the kitchen like a tornado trying to get everything ready or whatever, that kind of thing. And the fact of the matter is that they don't know because they haven't done it before, just like you didn't know before you were doing it. And it doesn't mean that it's fucking natural for you. It's a learned thing. I hate that it's like this part of this whole misconception that this is all supposed to come naturally to you because you are a woman.
Yeah.
But that there will be a pain point and a frustration period of transferring of the tasks and the responsibilities to your partner at some point because there's a learning curve. Like my husband and I recently, I'm working kind of like all of the time now. I'm writing a book and I'm creating content and I have like a zillion other irons in the fire and it's all awesome stuff. And I love doing this. And, but I'm also like pretty much still the full-time primary caretaker to my kids. So I don't have a lot of help outside of that. My husband's hours are long. He's outside of the home all day, every day. So there are realistically not as many things that he can be. He doesn't have like a flexible schedule with his job. Um, so we just recently like came up with a plan for him to at least taking over making lunches definitely 2 days of the week. And it's funny, like it's seriously alleviated a ton of my stress having him step in and doing this and owning that part of the week with his tasks and the snacks and the thinking of what to buy for lunch and how, you know, what each kid's going to bring along with them. But I'm kind of like sitting there supervising a little bit for like the first couple of weeks, like,
Yeah.
you know, these are the snack, like the right snack containers for this. And like, you know, Lukey's not going to eat those fucking carrots. So don't put them in there. You know, it's a
Yeah.
waste of food or whatever. It just like, you know, what people want and how they
They
want it
don't
and
want it in
stuff.
that box. They want it in this box with this lid because otherwise they're, yeah.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
that's like why we get to fall into the trap of just taking it over and doing it ourselves because there's so much to explain. And we think we have to like do everything right and blah, 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 blah. But honestly, there is such freedom in letting go of that control because I think we're all like running on such high anxiety from keeping all of these balls in the air that it's like you don't even want to deal with the headache of hearing somebody say, I didn't want that or whatever. It's like, fine, I'll just do it, you know, rather than explain it to somebody else. But if you can just like hang in there and be patient for a couple of weeks while the transitions the the transfer of the responsibilities takes place, it's a really game changer.
And that's such a great tip for, people that are just having babies and having newborns. And I'm actually surrounded by a lot of that at the moment. And I try my best not to give any advice because I remember hating getting advice from people. And again, every baby's different
Yeah,
and everyone's different. So they just need to do it their own way. But there is something in that because the earlier that you can start sharing that load, the less teaching there is, like the less,
totally.
you have to go through this whole system of teaching them, right?
Yeah, totally. It's very true. Like the deeper into like sort of I call it the martyrdom of motherhood a little bit, like where you just have to like do everything for everyone because this is your job and you have to like fulfill this image of being a perfect mom who can handle it all and who loves it all and that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it's crazy and you can get really deep in the rabbit hole of taking on way too much.
Way too much. And obviously, we'll come on to talk about hormones. But what we're seeing, the statistics and the suicide rates that we're seeing in women and the burnout that we're seeing and
Oh.
women, leaving the statistics of women leaving their jobs at a certain age. But have you started to see a shift? Do you feel like there's a shift, or do you feel like because you're in a bit of a bubble? Because sometimes I feel like I'm in a women's health bubble.
Mhm.
And so I talk about it so much. So I feel like there's a shift. And then sometimes you step into a bit of a different circle and you realize actually there isn't progress being made here. How do you feel about the parenting load and the mental load?
I I think generationally there's definitely a shift. Like I think that I'm 42. Um I see even like my like friends with husbands 3 years older than I think it's like literally I'm at the cusp of when dad started to really step in more and take over more with the domestic and childcare load.
Yeah.
And certainly people younger than me, I see dads doing a lot more of that. I think it varies for every family, and that's okay as long as it works for you and your family, right? Like, but if you're married to some dinosaur who doesn't want to change because he's the man or whatever it is, then it's just fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the term? How do you feel about the term hands-on dad?
It's so stupid. There's no such thing as a hands-on mom. Like every mom is hands-on, right? Yeah, there's definitely that phenomenon of dads getting like an overly generous amount of credit for doing the, sort of bare minimum of parenting in a lot of ways. And I hate to discredit men like that and dads like that because I think that's disempowering of them. And if
Yeah.
somebody was like eye rolling, oh, you just take them to the park or whatever, it'd be like if somebody said that to me about anything I did, I'd be like, go fuck yourself. You know what? Okay, trying. But like I it's a new thing for men to have to like learn how to be involved and how to be intuitive about what the house needs and what the kids need and that kind of thing. And there's learning that goes along with it. And there is a lot of generational, like there's a lot of role modeling that they did not have and see. And so it's really like flipping around. I can even see how for some men to just get on board with this not feeling um emasculating to take advice from your wife and how do you have to do these things and step in and step up and stuff. Uh, I think that men who are trying and who seem like they want to be helpful deserve credit in that area. Not to say that they don't need to keep going. Like, catch up. You do have to be a team player, be a heads up player. Like nobody wants to be dead weight in this family, and this family is a team. So
Uh,
step up to the fucking plate.
No, absolutely. I love that. And I grew up with three brothers and
Hmm.
two of them are dads. One's about to be a dad. And, they're all fantastic role models. So I actually have seen some really amazing examples of fatherhood. And let's be quite honest, a lot of parenting isn't enjoyable. So I get it. Why would
Mm,
you want to do it? But the point is, mums don't want, like, I don't want to stand on the corner of a park, or, you know, when it's absolutely freezing, or, you know, like there's
yeah,
just bits, it's not fun. Or when you
it's so
finish work,
boring.
stand and make dinner and then clean it
Hmm.
up, and then they don't want it. And then it's not fun, you know? So
Yeah.
I get it. Like, I get why people wouldn't want to do it.
So much of that is like what people perceive to be like natural for women versus men, and it's really, it's not natural for anyone. It's just learned, and it's just like crap that you have to do after you decide to have kids, right? It's like, got
Yeah.
to do this. Part of my responsibility now.
And I think that's what is so capturing about your posts and your humor, is that you're kind of calling out things that are expected to be the norm, but you do it in such a way that we kind of realize, yeah, that is absolutely insane that I've done all that today. You know, no wonder I'm tired or I've got chronic fatigue, right?
Yeah,
And so many women resonate with that. And I read the comments, and honestly, even some of the comments that people write are as hilarious as your post. Like,
totally.
your audience are just so on point. It's brilliant. It really feels like a community, right?
Yeah, I love reading through the comments. I laugh and I cry. Sometimes people are just like so honest and vulnerable, and um that permission to be in it together is kind of cool.
Yeah. I've started to notice that you're doing more and more content around hormones and perimenopausal symptoms. And I mean, I'm here for it. It absolutely cracks me up. And then I love that you still add on the end, and get yourself a snack, because that's still relevant, right? In all, for every post, that's relevant. For anyone that doesn't listen to you, that's kind of your tagline.
Yeah.
Yourself a snack.
Yeah, I like to
So
tap the
important.
phone and get yourself a snack.
Yes, I love it. But tell us why you're kind of leaning more into the perimenopausal posts.
Yeah, so some of it is just like that's what my explore page is littered with right now. I'm actually writing about that for my Soul Snacks publication, this weekly publication I put out for this week, and sort of sussing through all of the information out there. And so there's this one side of it where all like women's health and hormones is like such a very real thing that has been like totally ignored by the medical community for a long time and not paid nearly enough attention to, and people were suffering for all of these years thinking that HRT was going to cause cancer and kill them, where in fact, like, these studies have been debunked, and it's very personal and specific and can be really life-changing for a lot of women. And you have to do your research, and you have to see a doctor, and then there's also this whole other part of it where it is very much like, it seems, a business, right? So there are fitness programs to get on board with, and protein powders and supplements to take, and recipes that you need to know for your best high protein snacks or your favorite high protein dessert. Spoiler alert, they all suck. And I've tried. It's
Everything.
like, did you know if you combine a banana with oats and some chocolate, you will have made the best high protein cookie? I'm like, this does not taste good. Banana itself cannot replace butter and sugar. I'm sorry. It just can't. It's not a magician. It's bananas are great. Just like, stop pretending to make them something that they're not. That might be my next reel. Anyway, but like, it's just, it's information overload at all times. So it's really hard to suss out what's actually important, what we actually need to be doing, and then be like, I can also just be a human and live my life and not be so obsessed with strength training 3 to 4 days a week and 10 million steps a week. And also, don't forget to rest and get 9 hours of sleep. And I mean,
Don't forget to quit your job so you can try and pack in enough protein. I think that was
yeah,
one of the things you
yeah, it's crazy. It's a lot.
it does feel like an extra job. And I think it does come from a place like a lack of education. And here lies the problem. I mean, this is what the House of Hormones were on a mission to do. We're trying to simplify it, but let me tell you, even us trying to simplify it, it's a world of craziness because firstly, every woman's different, every cycle's different, and everybody goes through different stages of their cycle, or, you know, joins perimenopause and starts getting symptoms at different ages. So
Right.
you constantly have women saying, oh, I don't, that's not me, I don't. And nobody really knows that, you know, if we're going to talk about perimenopause, that symptoms actually quite on average start at roughly around 35.
Right.
So you will find women that will just explain away, and I bet you were guilty of this with your 3 children. They will explain away so many symptoms. So if you're really tired, just say, well, of course I'm tired. I have 3 children. Of course I'm tired. And women are so good at that. They're so good at dismissing their own symptoms. You're like so tired that you're all of a sudden, and you blame it on yourself. Like, did you feel like that with your 3 kids? And so you've got a doctor's appointment coming up and you're just trying to figure out what the hell is going on with your body. You need our free symptom tracker. It's like the receipts folder for your hormones. You can track the bloat, the mood swings, the brain fog, the mystery acne, and then roll it all into your next appointment like a hormonal pro. No more being brushed off or told it's all in your head. You've got the data. Download it for free today from our website and start advocating for yourself. www.thehouseofhormones.com and head to our free download section.
I do, and I did, and I still do. I mean, I'm going through all of the perimenopause stuff now at this point, and even in the fact that I know that I'm in it, sometimes it's like it doesn't exist and I'm totally fine. And other months I'm like, what the hell is the matter with me? Like, my body is not okay right now, you know? And I'm not sure what's going on in there, but I have enough information to know that it's like about an overall unpredictable fluctuation of hormones. And then I also kind of know, like, I'm a little too young for HRT. I mean, I could be doing some things, but then it's like, how long am I going to be in this? And how long should I be on a hormone replacement, or, you know, a bioidentical hormone or whatever? So I don't know. It's in some ways at this stage, I even feel, as a pretty educated person, a little bit like there's only so much I can do.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's very overwhelming. And that's the problem, isn't it? And again, that's why your posts resonate so much, because you literally you just hit the nail on the head of how overwhelming it can be. And of course, like you said, there are so many products that have come onto the market. I mean, my personal opinion on this, everyone has their own opinions on it. But because there's been such a lack of research into women's health, I'm not mad at all the new products that are coming on, because at least there's research being done, and women aren't stupid. So we might try a product, but if it's not working and we don't like it, we won't use it again. But I just love that there's some sort of research being done to try and help, you know? It resonates with me so much, the confusion that is felt by all women, and you just nail it every time. It's so funny.
I think that what I find to be frustrating about the conversation around hormones, as well as, like, yeah, now we're talking about it, right? Like, there's all there's a ton of conversation going on about women's health and hormones, and if you're looking for it, it's out there, right? People, it's a hot topic right now. But that also, there's not a lot of answers. There's not a lot of, this is what you should actually do, or what will actually help us. I mean, because a lot of what's going on right now is, like you're saying, research and speculation of what will and should help. But we haven't been doing it long enough to know, probably, in a lot of cases, right? And then it's like, yeah, well, my hormones are all over the goddamn map last month or whatever, but am I supposed to be on something for this when this month I feel pretty much totally great? Like,
yeah. So in months when you don't feel great, what's the pressure like being on social media? Like, do you feel a pressure to kind of keep things funny, even if you're not feeling funny?
Well, sometimes I feel when I'm at my most maniacal, I can be the funniest. So it's kind of a blessing and a curse. I'm like, well, I fuck it all. Like I'm going to come out there and say whatever I want this week because I'm feeling real feisty. Um, so it is what it is. Like in some cases too, it's like life, you have to take the good with the bad because it makes the whole experience.
So basically, your funniest material is done in your luteal phase. Also,
Yeah, a lot. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that, like that vibe of just like I'm going for it, and I don't. Yeah,
that's so funny. I have like this mental image of you going, like screaming at the kids and going, "Oh, great! I'm in the perfect mood for content. Let me go and grab my camera."
yeah.
Like,
It's kind of
let
like
me
that. I'm
capture
like, oh, this
this.
is funny. Yeah, we gotta write this down. I'm an
It's the
absolute psycho right now. I need to remember this.
It is. Do you carry a pen and pad around with you? Because I bet, like, you'll be in the car and you'll be shouting at the kids, or something will happen because ridiculous things just happen with kids, and you're literally looking at them like, "I know you're 5, but I just don't know how that even makes sense for anyone to do what you've just done." Do you just like have your pad and you're just constantly like taking notes? Like that was funny.
The notes section, my notes tab in my phone is full of lots of brain dumps.
Off the chart.
Yeah.
What What do your kids think of your content?
So my two big kids, my little guy is too
Too
young to
young.
really figure it out. Um, and then I think like with my kid content, a lot of what I say is directed at the littler kid phases. Like
Yeah.
there's kind of mom content in this whole other headspace, and then like the kid content is about the little kids. Or like I made fun of this like day that my daughter got her palate expander recently or whatever, but my kids they'll watch that and like laugh their asses off. They think it's really funny. And for the most part, if I'm going to discuss something that's like related to one of their lives or something that happened, I'll be like, hey, is it okay if I talk about that on social media or whatever? Or I
Yeah.
speak vaguely. My kids' faces are not on social media for the most part. I mean, I did show my son when we were doing the fundraising for cancer so that he could say thank you to people and stuff. But generally, I try to keep them.
I get that though, because as they're getting older, they'll be like, "Mom, why did you tell everybody that, like that toilet story?" Or, I get that
Yeah.
then be very embarrassing.
Yeah. So usually it's stuff that I know that they're already laughing about because I'll have made that joke with them at home and sort of warmed it up on them a little bit.
And what does your husband think?
He thinks it's great. I mean, I'll ask him like, "Do you think this is funny?" Like, and he's kind of like, "Well, I'm not your audience, but I think your audience is gonna love it."
What is
So
his
he
what is
says,
his vibe? Because obviously we know you. And
"Yeah,
so I find it fascinating. Like, what's he like? Is he really chill, or like what's his
yeah." He's a lot more like chill in nature. I mean, he's intense in his like work ethic and he's like a go-getter and that kind of thing, but he's very mellow in demeanor for the most part. He's very funny. He's more like you've got to actually have a really good sense of humor and be listening to he like zings. He gets some really it's one of the things that I love most about him is how much he really makes me laugh. He's very witty. But yeah, I'm more of the like outrageous, like performative, funny one of the two of us. He'll say he thinks that I'm a lot funnier in real life than I am on Instagram.
what's the craziest opportunity that you've been offered since you've been doing this type of work?
There have been so many really cool things, I have to say. It's wild. I have met a lot of interesting people, like met a bunch of celebrities through doing all of this stuff now and stuff. I just recently I was at this premiere for Kind of Pregnant, the new Amy Schumer movie, and then it was like of course Amy Schumer, but like Jerry Seinfeld and Adam Sandler and Chris Rock and like all of
Wow.
these seriously famous comedians and stuff in the same room. That's like a bizarre moment, but I will like, and then also other really amazing people like in the business sector, or just seeing people who are now following me on social media that are mega celebrities. So that's a very weird thing that you're like, I'm just this mom, and now so and so knows kind of who you are,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
weird, and without actually knowing who you are, but just like at least on social media. It's a funny thing. And then, and now I'm writing a book, which was my original goal. So that feels like a great opportunity that's come from this. And I think that probably the best is yet to come. That's where I'm kind of at mentally with all of it. I love being able to be creative and build an audience via those like juices or whatever that I have inside of me. But what I really want is to create like a very sustainable business from this, of my own product or my own thing that is put out into the world, and then just be able to, create when and what I want.
I love that. Can you tell
Hmm.
us what the book's called?
I don't have a title for it yet, so I
Oh,
can't, but I can tell you that it's going to be a collection of short stories, like a memoir-ish form, but not cohesive. It's just nonfiction stories about my life throughout my life.
and when is it due to come out?
Well, I have to finish writing it by November of this year, and I'll hopefully finish it before that, but it won't come out until sometime next year.
You have to come back on the podcast and talk to us about the book. I'm
Okay.
praying. I mean, I'm going to put money and bet on the fact that it's going to be called "Get Yourself a Snack." It
It
kind of
could
has
be.
to.
It could be.
It kind of. I have to ask you, what is your favorite snack at the moment?
Oh, well, I bounce
She
around.
takes it. She takes it so seriously. She's like, "Oh, I need to think about this one."
Well, like I am pretty particular about what I eat, and not as much like on a weekend, but I try to eat pretty healthy all the time. I do my best like not to eat a lot of processed foods and foods with like a boatload of ingredients in them.
Yeah.
So I cook a decent amount, even though dinner time is the absolute bane of my existence. I
Same.
just, oh God, thinking of things to cook for everybody all day, every day.
That's the worst
Um,
thing. That's the
ugh,
worst thing.
yeah,
Put that in your book as well. Just a list of things that we need to make every week, because I can't. I don't even mind cooking the food and cleaning it up, but thinking of what to make
yeah,
is my
but like
worst
I couldn't
thing.
even give you a thought of what to make because you might be like, yeah, but so and so won't touch that.
Won't eat.
Like you are the only one who really knows what is going to
Yeah,
work for your family. I
yeah,
could be like, well, it's
yeah.
Tuesday, do tacos, obviously, but then it's like, well,
But then
I,
also it's like, no, because the date on the fish is this, and I need to
I
get
need to
this
make
first, and
that.
that veg is like a week old, so I've got to get rid of that. It's a minefield.
Yeah,
It's a
it
minefield.
is. It's a constant, it's a real thing. That's actually a real massive source of stress for me on the mental load.
Me
The
too.
food,
We're
the eating,
laughing.
the
Me
shopping,
too.
but yeah, my favorite snack, I would have like this is so cliche. I do really like cottage cheese. I eat
Nice.
like cottage cheese toasts, either savory or sweet,
Nice.
quite a bit. I also would love, like lately I've been buying dates and
Oh,
breaking them open and smearing a little peanut butter on it for like a
yeah.
sweet treat snack. But like a traditional snack, I love popcorn. I really do. It like checks a lot of the boxes for me. It's like it's not so bad for you. It's salty. It can be sweet. You can, get yourself some kettle corn, whatever you're in the mood for.
There's your snack to
I
go with the
mean,
book. You're
yeah.
bringing up popcorn. You heard it here first,
I
everybody.
love an afternoon coffee or tea with something sweet. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it is, I think listen, we talk a lot about balance and, about healthy eating. But sometimes, like Easter's coming, sometimes you've just got to
Oh
treat
yeah.
and enjoy the chocolate or enjoy whatever snack
Oh
that is
yeah.
like.
And I always do like it. I'm not really so crazy about like not having the chocolate or not having the whatever. It's more like the ingredients. It's more
Yeah.
like, is there actually a lot of chemicals or crap in that?
Yeah. And
Less
there's some
so
great,
than,
great, great apps for that at the moment that you can scan and they can tell you. Like, I'm
yeah,
loving them. I'm absolutely obsessed with these at the moment for the kids, especially
yeah,
because they'll be
yet,
like, "Oh, I want this cereal or this cereal," and you can scan them so quickly and immediately find a slightly better one. So
right,
they might all be bad, but if you can find one that's not as bad, you're winning,
totally. Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's all
It's
about
the
like,
small wins.
it is. It's like, it's not about perfection. It's about like doing the best you can, right?
Try the best that you can. This is it.
Yeah.
What is the one thing that you would say to end on, like an unfiltered truth about parenting that no one told you about that really screwed you up?
Mm.
We've just
Oh,
talked about the food and the cooking. I mean, that definitely goes down as one of mine. Have you been feeling like your hormones are running the show? Been there? Same. Our ebook is your no BS glow up guide to hormonal health. We're talking facts, expert advice, and real life hacks, all in one gorgeously written download. So whether you're dealing with PMS, perimenopause, or you're just tired of Googling what the hell is wrong with me, grab your copy now at www.thehouseofhormones.com, and we've tagged it below. We've got you back.
yeah. I think that it was just that, like, I mean, the unfiltered truth about parenting would be that, like, you just have no idea how hard it's going to be, and, um, and what life could potentially throw at you, along the way. Um, but that expect things to be really hard, expect it to be a difficult ride, but also like that the part of it that people do talk about there, that the magic of having a family and being a mother um and the love of your child is like 10 times as much as you thought it could be as well. Like there is the, for some reason it balances out.
How many? Now you have slightly older children. Obviously,
Mm,
they're not old children, but they're slightly older. They're not like toddlers anymore. How many times have you said the words to people, enjoy every moment?
never. And I never will, and I never would. I will literally, somebody can punch me in the throat if I ever say that to anyone. Um, it's so unrealistic. I hate that so much. And oh God, it goes by in a blink. Does it go by in a blink, Janet? It doesn't feel like it's been a blink. None of it. Um,
The
but
thing is, though, sometimes some of these get me. Like one of them got me once, and it's like the days are long, but the
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 years are short.
years are short, and I'm like,
Yeah, I
oh,
know
it's so
that one
true.
too. Yeah, I just talked about this, and I will say, this is another thing I will say, which it sort of came to me the other day, like I used that exact phrase as an example. Somebody said the days are long, but the years are short. Listen, like time in general flies. Like it is not isolated to the time that your children are young. It just feels more like it's supposed to like seem more precious because children are precious, right? But it just feels like I was in high school just the other day, for God's sake. It's like that if I look at life at a glance, it all seems like it just happened
Yeah.
or it happened so quickly. It's not limited to life with children. Life does go by kind of fast, but there's also always something I feel like to look forward to. My life, I feel like things have continued to progress in a great direction and gotten more exciting, and like things that I continue to look forward, so much I continue to look forward to, and that there's this almost like underlying sentiment of regret that time is always slipping away, and
Yeah.
that it's okay to not have that regret and to just say this happened. I was here for it. I appreciated it deeply, that even though it was hard, or even though I loved that, or like I loved college, I don't want to go back to college.
No,
You know,
it
like it
can be
was
fun.
great, but
Oh,
it wouldn't be the right time. It's things, life has seasons for a reason. Like we're meant
yeah.
to progress and keep going, and to also have the freedom to not have to feel like, oh man, I didn't enjoy that enough, or I have to cherish and hold on to this time so tightly. Like you can just be there and be in it and try to be present as much as you can, and also look forward to what's next.
It's amazing because I think you're so spot on. And I think through your humor, you have almost taught me to enjoy the moments that I'm actually hating. So you've taught me to see things in a more comical way, or, and hearing the funny stories, or when the kids are driving you mad and you need to hide in the bathroom or whatever it is. But then the next day you can see why that's funny. And so you
Yeah.
can say, oh, look, just enjoy. Yes, I hate, having a 3 or 2 year old is always throwing food on the floor or whatever it is, and they're driving me mad. And I hate this period of time. And that's okay, because you can, like, you've shown us how we can have so much humor through it. And I thank you for that. And I'm sure everybody that's listening that knows you thanks you. And anyone that's listening that doesn't know you and doesn't follow you, they should. Anyone who has
Oh.
kids, I always immediately send them one of your posts. Always. As soon as I hear they're pregnant, I went, there you go.
Oh.
Follow this. This will help. This will get you through some tough
You're
times.
like, don't open this until after the baby comes out.
Yeah,
Though.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to protect them, don't you? You want to protect like that time of, like your pregnant friends or pregnant relatives, and you kind of want
Yeah.
to protect them and let
Well,
them
it's
let them come to you, like a couple of months in, and they come to you and go, is this what you went through? And you're like, yeah, so I didn't want to tell you, but let's sit down.
yeah, yeah, you're right. And because like you mentioned earlier, and I totally agree with you, you said that, you don't necessarily want somebody's advice. Like you just kind of want to figure out your own way and do it your own way. And that's why like my content's really not meant for people who don't have kids. It's really meant for people, because that would be like scary, or like seem daunting, or, like kind of
Yeah,
maybe dark to them or whatever. But you really can't totally grasp it until you've
you're
been
in it.
walked a day in the life.
Yeah. And then when you're in it, you need that humor to step outside of yourself and see how funny the whole situation is.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you so much for coming on the podcast with the House of Hormones. We would love, love, love you to come back next year when you're launching the book and the snack.
Thank you. Yes, let's hope. Yeah, yeah.
And please, for all of our listeners, go and follow at Big Time Adulting. Just the funniest content ever. Thank you so much, Caitlin Murray.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode today, don't forget to like and subscribe to the House of Hormones podcast. Your support really does help us reach more people and spread the word about women's health. If you want to stay connected, follow us on our social media. And here's something really important. We're on a mission to secure more funding for women's health initiatives. Sign our government petition today and help us amplify our voices for better healthcare resources and support. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you for being part of our journey. We can't wait to see you in the next episode.